where the ordinary is extraordinary.
We've chased checkered flags through dust, rocks, mud, and worse. We've crowned champions, racked up wins in places where tires go to die. And we're still just getting started. From hammering at hammers to Baja bangers. If it's brutal, beautiful, or just plain ridiculous, we're there. So whether you're bombing through the desert or just dodging potholes in Russia,
Hello, everybody, and welcome to our live coverage here of the 2025 SCORE Baja 400. We are in beautiful sunny Ensenada right now, but everyone's watching to see what's going on right behind me and right here at the start. The trucks are ready to take off. The bikes left this morning at 4:15, and just to give you a little heads up, at 3 hours in, the top two bikes were at race mile 157. But all these trucks are lined up and ready to go. I spoke to a lot of the drivers this morning. They're feeling pretty good. They're loving the weather today. And they think Justin Lofton, they all seem to be 227, excuse me. Another crowd favorite right here, the Desert Assassins, the one and only Cameron Steele. Qualified second in his class here. He's looking for another great run. He's won the first two races this year for Trophy 2. Count on him to be at the podium at the end of this one as well. Out of San Clemente, California. Cameron's taking the first half to around mile 250 or so, and then Dave Mason Jr. is going to take over. Another 1-9 Industries entry here. That's E.J. Herbst out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Brenthal out of Temecula, California. Sharing the duties will be Abdali Lopez, Jordan Brenthal, Sonny Cazares. I think Abdali's in at the start right now, and Jordan will take over. R.J. Stidham there in the 78T truck. Tracy Poole, driver of record in there. Wyatt Willie sharing the duties. Wyatt Wiley. Out of Phoenix, Arizona. Sharing the duty at Jimco. Up next from Orem, Utah, number 62T, Ryan Pullman. Gavin Weber, Dodge Pullman, and Luis Dominguez sharing the duties. That Ford truck looks ready to go. Up next we have 228, that's Ryan Hancock out of Yuma, Arizona. Jordan Poole, Dan Fresh, and Evan Weller sharing duties. That Alexander Ford truck. T, that's Tim Herbst, the veteran in there, out of Las Vegas, Nevada. Terrible Herbst Motorsports truck there. Jason Montez navigating. Pat Dean's going to take over halfway through with Shane Robinson in the cab. Another 19 Industries truck coming right behind him. That's Brent Fox out of Highland, Utah. Cody Johnson helping out. So now we're looking at Trey. That's Trey Gibbs out of Murrieta, California. Our 34th truck off the line. Ernest Figueroa sharing the duties in the cab. Another one of our legend entries here. 61L, hailing from St. Louis, Missouri. That's David Payne. Larry Rosser is in there sharing the duties, of course, with Kevin Murphy, Tucker Conroy, Jeremy Johnson, Rob Walser, and Skylar Pereira. And that Mason Motorsports truck. A lot of experience in that cab. Another one of our Class 1s. Out of Wilton, California, Dale Eberts, Ezra Eberts, father-son team, and that beautiful Jim Coe. I noticed there's a lot of families of father-sons and father-daughter teams this year. That's fantastic. Right now we're looking out of Las Vegas, Nevada. In that beautiful Class 1 there, in HMS Class 1, that's Brendan Gaughan. So much experience behind the wheel in that car for him. Every form of motorsports, basically. Mike Montez, Brandon Holly, Jared Ingram, Timmy Wilson, and Jeff Wilson sharing the duties in that South Point Hotel. But it's got the Gold Coast. It's the honor for Walker Evans for the paint job on that today. Very nice. '82T, we're looking at Sam Baldy from Beaumont, California. Jake Johnson, Robert Llewellyn, Brian Morris, Michael Baldy, and Roberto Farias. And that top line industrial truck there. Out of Omaha, Nebraska, that's truck number 230, Neil Drippy, in that SLR truck. Matt Ogman, Joe DeLucci, and DJ Blasco sharing the duties. Truck number 172 out of Upland, California, Jack Grabowski. That GET Performance, GET Performance truck. Truck, Class 1, whatever you want to call it. Buggy. Spencer Hillfikers helping out in the cab on that one today. Up next, you got truck number 200 here. You see the number plate in red. That means he's the defending class champion out of Las Vegas, Nevada. That's Thor Herbst. Pierce Herbst will be doing the second half. Navigators are Jeremy Munyon and Trevor Ellingham in that one here for Herbst Motorsports. Another car that's no stranger to podium finishes here. 138, Brad Wilson out of Long Beach, California. Kyle Quinn, Scott Mahalona, Ricky Hardy, and Brett Wendt helping out in that Jimco Class 1. Up next, we have truck number 260 here, the Monkey Business, Santiago Creel out of Mexico City. But pretty much the rest of the guys are all from right here in Ensenada. Christian Castellan, Ignacio King, and Alvarado Runoff in that Monkey Business Workshop Tesco truck. Now you're looking at that Dodge truck here in front of us. That's also out of Las Vegas, Nevada, number 87, Dallas Luttrell. Billy Gorky, Jeremy Huntsman, and Pepe Rodriguez. And that TSA Motorsports Dodge. We got another crowd favorite here out of Manhattan Beach, California, 65T. That's Greg Adler, the Off-Road Warehouse 4-wheel parts sponsored vehicle there out of Manhattan Beach, California. Jimmy Weitzel, Jorge Lamada, Dylan Corcoran, Brian Seed, and Thomas Fisher inside the truck. '209, Jose David Rocabila Adame, right here from Ensenada, Baja California. Esteban Cruz Durante sharing the duties. That Tisco Toyo Tires Monster Energy truck. Yeah, you see the red plate in the window there. That means defending class champion once again. This is Cody Reed out of Apple Valley, California in that 168. Mike Diorio, Anna Fanoop, Kevin Reed, and Matt Dewhurst in that Illumicraft. Reed Products BF Goodrich Tires, Class 1. '53L, that's Wade Porter out of Chico, California. And that Brent Hall. Logan Ponce, Jonathan Rubacalba, Denny Maciel, Jesse Ing, and Alex Everson. '15T, that's David Ziegler from Reno, Nevada. Paul Ziegler, Chuck Dempsey, Daniel Plaza, and Brad Udi. The other drivers. Out of Chatsworth, California, that's Paul Krause, Jason Farrell, Keith Smith, Brendan Scully, and Ray Cortez in that custom truck right there. Nice and shiny clean. I think that's 17T. Das Jong out of San Jacinto, California. Up next, all the way from Gold Coast, Australia, that's Justin Montesalvo, Christian Montesalvo, James Montesalvo, Esther Montesalvo, and Doug Sooks here out to duties. Patriot Campers, sponsored vehicle there. Truck number 280. '99L out of Hilliard, Ohio. Sean Runyon, Jeremy Dickinson, McCrea Glass, and Tanner Schroeder. Columbus Steel Erectors sponsoring that vehicle, that Brenthal truck. Getting it off the line there. Speed Shark here. Up next, out of Jupiter, Florida, that's Shane Lewis, 74L. Earl Desiderio, Brandon Johns, and Jason Smith in that BF Goodrich Tires Brenthal truck. Just love the sound of those trucks taking off down here. You ever get a chance to come watch the start of these races, guys, you got to come down to Ensenada and just join in all the fun. Right now we're looking at 269. That's Manillo Diaz from La Paz, Baja California Sur. Roberto Ruiz, Mario Diaz, and Hazel Cotapena in that 19 Industries truck. From Lake Havasu City, Arizona, 35T, that's Kevin Adler. Leifert Delgado and Joe Johnson in there, Adler Motorsports Ford. Again, we are in Ensenada, Baja California. This is the 2025 SCORE Baja 400. Scott McNeil from Santan Valley, Arizona is up next, 92T. John McNeil, Kelly McNeil, Noah Ramirez, Mitch McNeil, and Bobby Reed inside that geyser. I know Perry McNeil was our Grand Marshal not too long ago. Last race. We got 284 here. Jose Contreras out of Tecate, Baja California. Carlos Sanchez sharing the duties in there in that Padmer truck. Viva La Baja, it says across the front. Now we got 85L out of Bannock, California. That's Clay Lawrence, another 19 Industries truck. Louis Myers, Daniel Hernandez, Steve Lauer, and Mark Dobson sharing the duties. That Lawrence equipment. .239 right here out of Costa Mesa. That's Travis Picoy. Tyler Brown also sharing in that Ford. And that Earth Basics sponsored vehicle. Okay, here's number 21. Driver record is Tavo Vidosla, but it's Juan Pablo Vidosla. Of course, with Javi Valenzuela, Victor Venezuela, Augustine Moreno and Juan Pablo Vidosela. Mason Motors, Mexicana Logistics truck. Another familiar truck down here at 23 Mason Motorsports truck. That's Dan McMillan out of El Cajon. Rogelio Piera, Jason Ledesma, Gil Aguirre, and John Goulart. Now that DLM Properties contract. Monster Energy truck. Now we're looking at that Honda Ridgeline 9T. That's Ethan Ebert out of Marana, Arizona. Richard Glashik, Hayden, and Brandon Wells. And then American Honda sponsor, Honda Ridgeline. Cool looking truck. '90T. That's Darian Gomez, filling in for driver record JP Gomez. They're out of Lotus, California, and Sergio Garcia helping out on their edition of this Baja 400 and that Geyser. Car number 22, all the way from Fort Davis, Texas. That is Stephen Beal, Jared Lubick, Sean Geyser, Preston Schmidt, and Austin Gladden in that Geyser. Looking at 26T. SCORE Baja driver record for Dave Taylor. Christine Genova helping out today inside that truck. Adonia Yacht sponsored Geyser. Right now we're skipping ahead here. Now I believe we're in that. There's an entry that's not here right now. The Roger Norman entry isn't there, so we're going next. This is Mark Winkleman. Nope, that's the entry we saw. Okay, that was the Roger Norman entry. Here we go. Up next is 25L. Mark Winkleman, Rudy Uribe, Pablo Moreno, Dean Kelsey, Charles Manchester, Chris Schlomer, Glenn Mahan, and Dan Orr. But right now, behind the wheel, taking the green flag here is Mr. Rat Salt. Good luck, Rat. That Monkey Business Workshop. So there, all the trucks are now off the line. We're dropping down now into our Pro UTV Open class. These guys are going to be getting it. All those 86 trucks or 88 trucks are out in front of them right now, but they'll be picking them off one at a time here. Leading it off is 1896. That's Brock Hager out of El Centro, California. Justin Wilson and Hunter Probel in that beautiful Polaris. Right behind him, we have truck number 1821, UTV 1821. That's Caden McCachran from Las Vegas, Nevada. Haley Hine and Ethan Peekran in the SCI Motorsports Polaris. Up next, I believe that's 1886. out of Prescott Valley, Arizona. That's Brandon Sims. And a lot of experience also sharing the duties there is Skylar Howell. Now we got the familiar looking car of 1854, Kristen Matlock out of Alpine, California, and her Polaris Razor. Christopher Escobar doing the navigation. And there she goes, Kristen Matlock's underway. We're looking at 1846. That is Alexander Noble out of Mira Mesa, California. Eric Thibodeau and Nico Nunez in that Polaris as well. That's a very tall Polaris. It sits up really high. I almost got to peek over, get on my toes to look inside that cab. SCI Motorsports sponsored Polaris. Excuse me, Noble Craft. (1876) out of Temecula, California, Mike Caffro, Manny Vienna, and Jaime Kirkpatrick. That overtires sponsor Polaris. Up next here in that Starmount System sponsored Polaris is 1870 Brandon Walsh out of Encinitas, California. Cody Weaver, Seven Cecilio, Aaron Cecilio, and Naya Cecilio also in the truck there. Siliceo. Yeah, I call them trucks, buggies, same thing. Not really. Right here out of Ensenada, Baja, California, in this Can-Am, that's Rodrigo Ampudio Jr. That Papas and Beers sponsored Monster Energy truck. Juan Carlos Guerreva, Giovanni Mozo, and Gail Figueroa helping out. Up next, we have another veteran off-road racer down here in that Polaris Razor. That is none other than Mr. Wayne Matlock out of Alpine, California. Pancho Rodriguez doing the navigating for him. I believe Wayne and his wife Kristen are just not going to get out of the driver's seat the whole race. Now from Henderson, Nevada, in this Polaris number 1829, that's Sierra Romo, Jeff Powell, Victor Herrera, and Casey Campbell. And that Polaris Racing. Sierra Romo should see a lot of following on social media. Up next, out of Chula Vista, California, Mark Burnett at Can-Am, Monster Energy Can-Am. Cody Strickland. Good looking car. Nice scheme on there. Now another fan favorite coming up here in 1857. That's Mr. Blake Wilkie out of Ramona, California. Harrison Weiss navigating for him. Blake looks ready to go. Giving the thumbs up to the folks there. X-Comp Tires Shorty Life sponsored Polaris. Likes getting it. Now from Bakersfield, California, number 1869, Justin Lambert. And that Cognito sponsored Polaris Razor. Matt Scarpuzzi, Scott Trafton, and Rich Hitchcock sharing the duties in there. I think we're missing. We're now moving ahead to 1853. 1860 was scheduled next, but we don't have him. So we're going Manny Guerrero out of Bellevue, Idaho, Aaron Ramirez and Yasiel Mariscal in the truck there. That's Team Carl Malone for that Polaris. Carl Malone, that is the Carl Malone, famous Utah Jazz basketball player, sponsoring that team. Look for a big showing with Carl Malone possibly being here for the Baja 1000. Breaking news for y'all. Car number 1861 out of Bakersfield, California. That's Mitch Alsop, Josh Rowe, Preston Axford, Jay Gray, and Gilbert DeValia in that Can-Am. Alsop Racing Development. $1831. That's Mitch Alsop, 1861. We got a little out of order there, but that's what we're looking at now. It's okay though, we'll catch up. Here we go, out of El Cajon, California, 1831, Justin Morgan, Owen Davis, and Cameron Korfman in that Polaris SCI Motorsports. Rockford Fosgate sponsored machine. Out of Livermore, California, 1835, that's Ricky Arslanian, Brian Cooper, Kevin Fox, Jason Pilaminari, Billy Ray, and Dustin McNabb helping out today inside that Mountain Cascade sponsored Polaris. The last of our Class 18s, I believe, is up next here. I think we're missing the Michael McFadden car because I'm showing a 10 car in line next. But 1838 was scheduled, but I don't know where that car is. So we're going to move ahead here. This is Elliot Watson, 1033. We're moving on to our Class 10s here. Elliot Watson out of El Centro, California. Very fast racer. Edgar Sotero and Mikey Sandoval on that Illumicraft. Now up next, right here from Ensenada, Baja California. Car number 1075, that's Eliseo Garcia, Roy Rojas, William Hendrick, and Ivan Estrada sharing the duties in that Raceco Nora-sponsored machine. Out of El Cajon, California, car number 1009, that's Matt Willard, Daniel Goodrich, Michael Goodrich, Chase Wilson, Freddie Willard, and Ronnie Mitchell. Out in duties inside that Illumicraft, FJ Willard contracting sponsor, BF Goodrich, Class 10. All the way from Farmington, Missouri. That's car number 1044, Jason Shipman. Andy Shipman, Doug DeLong, and Brock Blankenhorn. And that scrapping sponsored Alumacraft. Well, sponsored Alumacraft right there. Now we got 10:06 from San Marco, Stan Potter, Freddie Willer, Dan Worley, and Matthias Arona the fourth. Stan looks ready. Focus. Those eyes are ready. That BF Goodrich Tires King Shock sponsor. .1022. 1022 is up next. Jumping ahead. Out of Orange Beach, Alabama. That's Harry Lattis. Sterling Rivers, Jared Lubeck, Derek Geiser, and Zayden Cerna in that Sendero Residential sponsored Alumacraft. Trying to catch up with the numbers here. 1074. From San Marcos, California, that's Mike Aguilar, Adolfo Aguilar Jr., Angel Aguilar, Gio Madrigal, and Lupe Montes, and that Baja Designs BF Goodrich Tires Alumacraft. Car number 1000, number 1000, that's Francesco Vera from El Rosario, Baja California, just down the road here. Alexis Vera and Yair Ramirez in that Shock Fox BF Goodrich Tires Alumacraft. .1013 is up next, all the way from Coos Bay, Oregon. Harley Masurvey and that Duran Motorsports Lothringer. Not an Alumacraft, this one's a different one. Eric Fernando Duran navigating single seater, switching against the single seater, so he'll be switching drivers. Eric will take over the second half. Now we're going into our Pro UTV Force Induction, the 2900 class. Right now we've got a fantastic team here all the way from Hurricane, Utah. That's Caden Wells and his navigator Emma Cornwell there. Travis Wells, Garrison Calloway, and Ivan Gutierrez sharing the duties on that Bill Steve Method Can-Am. Up next here, 2987. That's Edgar Garcia and Nancy Garcia doing the navigating. They look ready to go. They got a big team. They're pretty popular down here. They got a lot of local friends here in Baja California as well, and that Method Wheels Can-Am. They're out of Trabuco Canyon, California. All the way from Culiacan, Sinaloa, car number 2910, Jorge Cano, and that Papas and Beer Monster Energy Can-Am. Marcos Valenzuela, Francisco Ritz, and Jorge Petraca sharing the duties today. .2928 is up next from Mexicali, Baja California, Carlos Quezada. Helping out is Carlos Quedad Jr., Cesar Castillo, and Isaac Romo in the GSE HVAC and Mechanical Systems sponsored Can-Am. BF Goodrich as well, Method Race Wheels. A lot of good sponsors on that vehicle. Up next, we have 2948 from Norco, California. Jason Waller, the driver record Matt Burrows, Zachary Burrows, Chris Edsley, Tim Noctaborin, and James Hill in that Monster Energy Can-Am. Up next, we have car number 2958, all the way from Larkspur, Colorado. That's Zach Lumsden, Shannon Moham, and Josh Cobb. That Colorado Motorsports, RaceRentals.com, Can-Am. We have another entry here from Mexicali, Baja California, car number 2926. That's Francisco Escareno, Luvian Volker, Javier Rubio, and Isaac Cota Arce. Also sharing the duties. That beautiful Can-Am. 2967 up next, hailing from Yuma, Arizona. That's Cliff Beasley, Brad Milner, Sierra Beasley, Rick Madrid, Jake Arsaga, and Henry Pelzeski. And that Fats Bar sponsored Can-Am. Fats Bar just sounds like a fun place to hang out. Right now we're looking at 2983 from right here in Ensenada, Baja California. That's Jose Luna, Cesar Rentiera, Juan Madriz, Yanni Gomez, Adolfo Luna, Reyes Luna, Diego Luna, and Bernardo Higuera. And that Full Fleet Services Can-Am. Moving ahead, we got one more out of order here, so we're moving right up. 2957 from Denver, Colorado. That is Craig Lumsden, Jamie Labber, and Jason Cobb in that Colorado Motorsports Can-Am. Up next from Austin, Texas. 2902, that's Noah Wright, Austin Gavlak, Cam Moldner, Mike Giles, Steven Sims, Columba Sims, and Mike Jaklinski in there, and that Flying W Ranch sponsored Can-Am. A car from Texas should be sponsored by Flying W Ranch. Totally makes sense. $29.17 from Culiacan, Sinaloa, Ricardo Zaragoza, Roberto Gonzalez, Ephraim Barraza, Santiago Gonzalez, Refugio Antonio Flores Garcia, and Fernando Rios sharing the duties in that Grupo Ganza Can-Am. From Yuma, Arizona, 2990, that's Joel Whitted, Kyle Whitted. They're working together in that car today. All Play Outdoor Living sponsored Can-Am. Site car 2983, Red Donkey sponsored car. Jose Luna. Yeah, they were out of order. They were released earlier. That's why we missed them right here. But now we're back to 2944 out of Auburn, California. That's Phil Blurton, Jeff Gallegos, Chris Rowe, and Kevin Kierkegaard in that Can-Am Monster Energy Vision Wheel sponsored Can-Am. BF Goodrich tires as well. We're getting a little discombobulated here with the start order, but we're catching up right quick for y'all. Now we're looking at 2982 out of El Paso, Texas. That's Paul Munoz Jr., Fernando Flores, and Paul Munoz Sr. Again, another one of those family entries. Look how excited they are in the cab. They're ready to get their Baja 400 started. And that Emblem Sports sponsored Can-Am. All the way from Argentina, car number 2918, that's Alfredo Olimedo, Daniel Lopez, Francisco Verduga, and Sergio Nunez in that PRP Olmedo Racing Problemos Trabajando sponsored PRP car. Good luck, guys, all the way from Argentina. Welcome to Baja. Enjoy your day. $29.47 from Brawley, California. That's Francisco Espinoza. A whole slew of guys sharing the duties with this one. Pedro Hurtado, Sandoval, Gail Hurtado, Mosen, Oscar Alexander Robles, Nathan Ortiz, Jorge Gamboa, and Jaime Delgadillo. Ooh, that's a lot. And Hockey Racing Canada. Now we're going to Class 7 from San Felipe, Baja, California. No stranger to racing Baja down here. He saw most of the course, but not all of it, but he's been around this part so long, there's nothing that's going to be thrown at him. He's not ready for it. That's Dan Chamley. Lori Chamley navigating forward, and then Kurt Kimball and Todd Craven as well. The Factory Appliance BF Goodrich sponsored Ford. And now we're moving to our Pro UTVs, naturally aspirated. We're not. We're catching back up. Hold on. We are. Okay. That's number 1900. That's Ricardo Torres. He's got the red plate. He's defending class champion out of Lake Elsinore, California. Chris Ariaza in that Feder Automotive Group Raceco Honda. Here's a person just gaining fans, and every step she goes, all along the way, along with her dad, Sean Malaban. That's Ava Starr Malaban. And Ava's ready for this. We talked yesterday. She's pretty excited. Did a lot of homework. They were down here for a couple weeks, pre-running the whole course out there. They're very excited. They're looking for a great day here. Ava Starr. Eva Starr. So now we're looking at Joe Bolton, I believe, here. And that Bolton Racing Polaris Razor. Ian Lyons, Mike Leslie, and Matt Bonuelos sharing the duties today. We had a couple of cars missed back in that last class, but I know they were here because I talked to them yesterday in text, so they'll probably start today and we'll catch up to them. So if you're missing one of your guys, they're probably still here, don't worry. We'll catch them later. But now we're moving to Class 5 Unlimited. Looking at car number 506, just down the road here from San Quintin, Baja California. Enrique Nunez, Manuel Ibarra Barrios, Jose Guadalupe, Jesus Rivera Contreras, and Iker Braceno Mendez in that Bebo Racing Argo Services Volkswagen. And this should be number 500. It is our defending class champion from Tijuana, Baja California, Ellie Yee. LE Jr., Max Ian, Juan Gar- and the yoke commentators King Shocks, Jake's Fab. Defending champion in this class. Now we're moving into our TV class. Arliano and Carlos Solutions Polaris. $39.21. Mexico Stabilizers Can-Am. Paz, Baja California Sur. That's Francisco Beltran. Dueños Diego and Diego Beltran Duenas and Francisco Beltran Duenas sharing the duties. From the Baja. Yashua Marquecho is up here from Mexicali, Baja California in 39.26. Carlos Salazar, Alejandro Juarez, Jorge Sanchez, Alejandro Aguilar, Arturo Aguilar, and David Marcheco sharing the duties in that factory racing sponsor Polaris. Polaris Mexico also the sponsor. Now from Yuma, Arizona, car number 3957. That's Kyle Chavez, Jesus Flores, Steve Anderson, and Steve Shims working the race today in that Edward Jet Racing. $39.69 up next, all the way from Sandpoint, Idaho, Kevin Clyde. Nick Harper Johnson sharing the duties with him in that Clyde Excavation and Grading Metal FX wheel sponsored Can-Am. Power Sport. From Cambridge, Ohio is John Mead, Jeff White, Rolando Cabrera, Justin Haas, Giovanni Solario, and Gerardo Cabrera. And that's Sylvania Off-Road sponsored Can-Am. Good looking car. Again, from Mexicali, Baja California, looking at 39.28. That's Andy Chavez. And that Chilo's Trucking sponsored Can-Am. Alexander Vasquez. Get some crowd cheering as they go down the straightaway there. Now we're looking at 39.30. From Hazlet, Texas. Sponsor Polaris, that's Doug. Up next, we got Sergio Rangel from San Clarita, California in 39.88. Tony Alvarez, Leonardo Murillo, Arnaldo Hermosillo, Ruben Cedillo, and Alejandro Sandoval in that veteran electrical power system spot. Right here from Ensenada, Baja California, and that Rayo Blanco Mezcal sponsor Polaris, that's Edward Gibson. Jacquez. Right, Ensenada, Baja California. Off-road motorsports capital of the world. $39.18 is up next from Zapopan, Jalisco. Antonio de Loera, Silvio Papez, Rene Lopez, Jesus Mario Quinones Carlin. That La Racer Racing sponsor Can-Am. From Huntington Beach, California, $39.85. That's Andrew Kim. And that PCI Radio Raceland Wheels Can-Am. Trevor Rank, Brandon Lloyd, Daniel Gavez, Curtis Robinson, and James Ensley. Koza Motorsports also sponsoring them. $39.23 from Tecate, Baja California. Marco Valladolid, LPR assistant sponsor Can-Am. Hector Garza, Alexa, Roberto Jimenez, Gerardo Jimenez, and Noel Benavides. Getting it pretty excited to get rolling there, it looks like. Here we go, another crowd favorite right here from Oceanside, California. That's Miss Jamie Lee behind the wheel. Been around here for a long time. Kylie Walton helping with her in their Can-Am foil tires and KMC wheel sponsor Can-Am. Jamie's been one of the monster girls here for a number of years now. She's behind the wheel. She's pretty excited. Up next, we're going to Class 1-2 1600. We're looking at the red plated car right there, number 1600 from Chula Vista, California. That's Daniel Goodrich. Michael Goodrich, Freddie Willard, Gian Espinoza, Anthony Grasnick, and Danny Sanchez in that FJ Willard contract in Volkswagen. Believe this is 1632. Can't really see the number, but I think it is, and that's right here from Tijuana about. Well, that's one of our cars that we missed earlier, 2949. They're back in class. We'll catch them up, but if you were looking for them, there they are. And right now we got 1625. That jumped in the ones we missed earlier, so they're in. But now we're back here with Eric Pavoka out of Sonata, Arizona. Andrew Pavoka, Adam Johnson, Fadro Fabrication. 1625. Up next from Tijuana, Baja California, Paulino Alberto Maldonado and that French Performance VW. Well, Aguayo, Mario Gastelum, Juan Robles, and Maury Martinez. 1697, I'm showing 79, that could be a misprint either way. Out of Ensenada, Baja California, Abraham Marquez. That ASR, the PRC. Eric Galdino, Eric Montez, inside the car there. Up next, we're going to move to our Class 8, that Dalton Trucking sponsored Ford. That's John Klensky from Goodyear, Arizona. He looks focused and ready. Good to go. Lee Cook, Arturo Sanders Chavez also helping out inside that Dalton Trucking sponsored Ford. Now we're in the Class 2 here, 2081, all the way from Hurricane, Utah. That's Grant Ingram. And that's Jackal, Reese Millen Jackal. Beautiful car, very capable. Rick Simile helping out in there. Got that Jackal and got it all working. They're excited to be racing it down here. Now we're going to everyone's favorites, the Class 11s. First up here we have 1103, Eastvale, California. That's Rafael Castillo in that EMPI mobile wagon, Volkswagen. Anthony Castillo, Patricio Flores, and Luis Magana. Good luck, boys. Now we have a member of the Off-Road Motorsports Hall of Fame, car number 1111, the one and only Mr. Eric Solorzano. BF Goodrich Tires sponsored Volkswagen, Matthew Watson, Christian Ortiz, and Luis Herrera. Many years they've been working together with the same team for Eric, and they're out of La Jolla, California. Good luck, Eric. From San Felipe, Baja California, good friend of everyone down in Baja California. It's Caesar Q. Behind the wheel of the Arabia. No Bad Days Beat. San Felipe Brewing, San Felipe Desert Mayhem sponsored machine. Daniel Ramirez, Jorge Arellano, Christian Huden, Salvador Marites, and Eileen Fornesi helping sponsor. There goes Caesar. The Rubia. Now we're going to our Sportsman UTV's open stock class. The battery is the car. Valvoline sponsored Can-Am. Car number 1819. Bradley Salazar, all the way from Ecuador. Christian Zarita, Hermano, Edison Zarita, Vicente Belzano, Carlos Belzano, Francisco Verdes Flores, all sharing the duties. And up next from Webster, Minnesota, car number 1810, that's Randy Badeau, John McCarthy, and Oscar Rico sharing the duties. Protecting Paws sponsored Can-Am. Lake Family Dental. There you go. And finishing out this class is car number 1818 from San Juan. That's Carl Runge, Bill Smano, Kettler, Ambrosia Quintero, and Manuel Amenedo. Edward Jet Racing sponsored Can-Am. And I believe that's going to do it. And some of those cards I missed earlier might be working their way up. We'll hold here for a minute and see what's going on. Getting some information from race control here. Well, I think that's it with our start here today. So I'm going to sign off for right now, but we'll be back as the first bikes get in. And just a reminder, the bikes took off this morning. Mile. Since I've been in here, they were at Race Mile just about 63 hours in. So that's about a 50-some, 52, 54 mile an hour average. So we'll figure that out when to expect them back here. The trucks, like I said, I talked to the top drivers this morning. I talked with Toby Price. I talked with Justin Lofton and Chris Povardi. Each one of them all said somewhere between 53 and 56 mile an hour average. I believe them when they say that. So we'll see. They'll get back here soon enough today. Stick with us. Enjoy the coverage. We have many in-car camera coverages today. And once again, we thank you for joining us of our live coverage here of the 2025 400.
Finishing touches of any off-road vehicle are the things you add to make it your own. That's why we've developed a full collection of over 70 Polaris-engineered accessories specifically designed for Pro R. Polaris. Think outside.
Dame una bomba de agua.
¿Tienes anticongelante?
Para tu auto o tu taller, en AutoZone estamos para ti. Con más de 100,000 números de parte disponibles y una gran variedad de productos. Con AutoZone.
Somewhere in the world, there's a place where every corner holds a new discovery. Want to find out? Here, comfort isn't measured by extravagance. It's measured by the purity of authenticity. What seems simple on